What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're back with yet another Forsaken video with a bunch of topics to talk about. I wanted to look at one of the few missing exotics and how it ties into a very important character we're supposed to meet at some point in a quest line. Of course, the Last Wish raid also came out, and it is absolutely crazy. It is very, very difficult. I'm pretty sure less than 50 teams have actually made it to the final boss encounter, Riven, and my team is actually one of them. So I wanted to give my perspective and thoughts and impressions based on a team that's actually got there, and of course show off the loot drops and secrets and stuff that comes with it. We've also got some big changes to the Dreaming City, like some missions, quest lines, things that have appeared, and of course some more bits and pieces of news from Bungie as well. So as always, if you enjoy the video, a like rating is much appreciated, and let's get into it. So let's begin with one of the few missing exotics which is yet to be obtained, and that is the Wish Ender Bow. There is actually a lot of lore behind this item, and especially in-game, tons of hints that kind of give clues as to what we're going to do to get this weapon and some things that will be involved in the quest line. So if you don't know, the Awoken Talisman, this thing we've had in our inventory since launch, this is the actual quest line for the bow, and this is eventually going to give it to us. Mainly the last part, it says keep hold of it in case you ever need to declare yourself to an Awoken Warrior. Now this warrior is the important character here. So I did a bit of digging into the lore and found out this Awoken Warrior is a person called Ido. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong because it's a Nordic name, but this is actually the original owner of the Wish Ender Bow, and this is who this entire kind of quest line is based around. She's actually the original owner of the Wish Ender Bow, and it did belong to her, and the reason it's called Wish Ender in the first place is because she used to go around killing certain Ahamkara with the bow, thus why it's called the Wish Ender. The exotic perk on this bow is called Queen's Wrath, and Ido was literally the Queen's Wrath. That was her title for the Queen, so another connection between this weapon and herself. Also, as a fun fact, I'm sure you guys remember the Bones of Ao exotic hunter boots. Those bones, of course, came from an Ahamkara named Ao, and is actually the one that killed Ao with this exotic bow, the Wish Ender. On top of that, the new hunter exotic gauntlets, the Oath Keepers, these also used to belong to or at least they're based off her, and that's why the exotic perk is to do with bows, because it's tied to the Wish Ender. Now, Ido is a very important character in the entire Awoken backstory, and also very close to the Queen Marasov herself, so she's based like a personal soldier, a very high up character, and she was known as the first Queen's Wrath. Now, the weird thing is that she did mysteriously die somehow. We don't exactly know what caused it, but on her body was found a strange coin, so it's very possible the 9 or agent of the 9 has something to do with her death. But more importantly, when she was found dead, her bow, the Wish Ender, has actually gone missing, so it's been stolen, and I'm guessing we're going to find it somehow. As well as that, it seems that whoever killed Ido also killed Hugin and Munin, the two Ahamkara that you'll find in the Dreaming City, the two skulls you can trade with. Now, the weird thing is that several items do suggest that she is not dead and is going to come back, so as she's being killed by whatever it is, she swears an oath to rise again, and then it says as she draws her bow, fell, lost. It doesn't say dead, just fell and then lost. Now, remembering that she did swear an oath to come back and rise again, her gauntlets are called Oath Keeper, so if she keeps her oath, she's going to come back, and of course the description says, I've not yet met my true death. It is possible she made some sort of wish or bargain with Hugin and Munin, the two Ahamkara she was found dead with, because they do have the power to do something like that to bring her back to life. So that explains the Awoken Talisman, who this warrior is, and also why we're going to go and find her missing bow for her, the Wish Ender. In terms of in-game items, we have 6 things so far that point towards this quest that are going to be at some point involved. So you've got 3 tokens for 3 different enemies and 2 versions of those tokens. So the Dreaming Token of Erivix, the Worthless Token of a slain captain, sworn enemy of Ido. Then you've got one for Quirim the Minotaur and Zavoth the Ogre, and you've got the same tokens for the same enemies but waking versions, and these ones hum with potential. For even further proof that these coins are tied to the actual quest line for the Wish Ender, you can see inside the database of these items, these coins, it says Open World D2 400 items bow quest boss 1. So Zavoth is the first boss in this quest line, Quirim is boss number 2, and Erivix is boss number 3 in this item bow quest. So I'd imagine after meeting her, you're going to take out these 3 spawn enemies of her and get these tokens, and of course you're doing her a favor. In terms of when this quest is going to be available and we can start doing this, your best guess is as good as mine. It could be time gated, it could be the 3rd week of the corruption of the Dreaming City, or it could be just some secret no one's found just yet. Also worth noting that Steve Cotton from Bungie said in an interview last month that the Wish Ender Bow is going to be one of the more difficult weapons to obtain, and not every player is going to have the dedication to obtain it, so apparently it's going to be pretty difficult. But that's a roundup of everything I could find in-game about this bow, the Wish Ender. Hopefully it's found soon because it looks like a cool weapon, and of course when it is found, I'll let you guys know right here on the channel. So next up, let's talk about the Last Wish raid, the bosses, the loot rewards, my impressions, just everything really. Like I said, this raid is incredibly difficult because the power level required, and similar to the Warmind raid Spire of Stars, Bungie just raised the light level incredibly, so the final boss encounter is 580, the earlier one's around 65, 75. The recommended level is 550, which I would say is very accurate. If you've got a full team of 550, I'd say it's about spot on of what you would definitely need. Despite this, I was only 539 when I went in this because I had horrendous RNG, just literally the worst imaginable, and also of course the offering glitched out out, so I lost a massive amount of rewards there. So being 39, I had to be super careful and play even better because I would get destroyed by the simplest of enemies. The damage I did to others was still fine, but enemies could one-shot me so easily. Despite this, though, we did actually get to Riven, the final raid boss, which, like I said, only a tiny amount of people in the entire world in the race actually are at Riven right now. So 5 teams currently have beat Riven. So the Clan Redeemer ended up getting World's First. They're incredibly skilled, and I believe this is their 5th World's First of any raid. So they're, of course, very good at this. So the first boss, Kali the Corrupted, is very similar to Vosik and the War Priest in a lot of ways. The gist of this encounter is that all 6 of you stand on plates that correspond to symbols. You spawn a knight, kill all the knights, go to the middle for DPS, do a little bit of damage, and then she's going to do a white mechanic, and you hide in those little room window things. You do that 3 times inside one damage phase, and basically repeat that damage phase until she's dead pretty much, and the reward is going to be a Seed of Light. Of course, you also get a raid armor piece or weapon, but a Seed of Light is pretty interesting because this, of course, unlocks your 3rd subclass. Is the only current way to get one. But don't worry, the raid is not the only place to get this 3rd Seed of Light. You can also get it through other sources. So Cosmo from Bungie tweeted saying, "It is not locked behind the first raid encounter. There will be more opportunities to receive Seeds of Light." So it's basically like a timed exclusive. If you can do the raid, beat the first boss, you get a Seed of Light early as opposed to waiting like everyone else. The next boss is Shirochi, the 2nd Tekken, and in this encounter you cover the most distance I've ever seen in any Destiny raid. You cover so much space. There is also probably the most ads I've ever seen in a boss fight, so Orpheus Rig, the Hunter Boots, is absolutely perfect for this. So there are 3 different floors, 3 levels, and as you can see, a health bar is split into 6, so 2 damage cycles per floor, and it's a long linear path climbing up this tower. So you take down 1/6 of her health, and then do a damage phase. EP Shotgun is perfect for this. Then you nuke a bunch of ads, do a 2nd damage phase, take the second 6, and then you go into this room. You have to kind of stand on these plates, match the puzzles to the wall, and kind of ascend to the next floor. And then you simply rinse and repeat. Do a damage phase, nuke the ads, another damage phase, the room with the puzzles, 3rd floor, again, damage phase, ads, and then finally melter. After this, you go to the bridge, which is broken, and then go into the Ascendant Realm to cross it, and this gets you to the base of the tower and face Morgoth, the Spire Keeper. This is a humongous ogre. So this guy's a pretty cool boss. Essentially, you're killing ads, collecting relics, freeing each other that become trapped, and also picking up these taken essences that you need to begin a damage phase. This is also where Spindle or Whisper of the Worm comes in very handy, and with these, you can pretty easily 2-phase him. One person is going to be required to hold a relic and actually stun him to stop the white mechanic at the end of the damage phase once he nearly reaches 100% of his strength. Or when you're confident you can definitely kill him, you can have that person do damage instead to speed up the process. He does send out probably the most Axiom darts you've ever seen in your life, so one person may be required to shoot those depending on who they're going for. But I mean, if you've got 5 or 6 Spindles, proc Whisper breathing, and stand on a Radiance, well, you can pretty easily 2-phase this. So after you defeat Golgoth's bigger brother, you're going to get to the vault, and this one is actually less about DPS and damage and levels and more about an actual puzzle mechanic. There's no boss here, it's just purely about cracking puzzles, symbols, and those kind of things. Now this vault is where everyone in the race spent the longest amount of time on because it's so complicated, and is also probably the most difficult to explain to someone else. There's so much going on, and it's honestly quite a mess. So again, for a very general explanation of what's going on here, 3 of you are going to step on 3 different plates and see 3 different symbols, you can see right here. So for my plate, my symbols, you can see I've got a dragon in the middle holding a stick. I'm then going to ask the other 2 people, where is the dragon holding a stick on your plates and your diagrams? And then one of them is going to say is either on the left or the right. So for my plate, as you can see my symbols, I've got a dragon holding a stick in the middle, and I'm trying to find out from the other 2 symbol people, which position is that dragon holding the stick, on the left or the right? And these symbols change all the time, but one of those is going to have a dragon on the left or the right, and they're going to tell me which one of those it is. So if one of them says that the dragon for them is on the right, for example, that's my call out done. I remember for the next phase, right is the thing to remember. So then one of those 2 people might have a bird on the branch in the middle for them, and they're going to ask, where is the bird on the branch? And I'm going to say is on the right for me, so right is their call out. And then the 3rd symbol person is going to ask the same thing. So basically the 3 of you have the answers to each other's puzzles. You're asking each other, where is your middle symbol? Because for them it's going to be on either left or right. So then you kill more ads, and then a captain's going to spawn with a relic. You kill him, pick up the relic, and now you know to go either left or right based on the symbols, and also where to dunk that relic. There are also these special knights with a ton of health that spawn that are going to try to get to the middle. If they do, you're going to wipe. So you need to stop them, of course, before they get there, which is very difficult. So after you dunk your relics on the correct platforms, that is basically one of 3 locks picked. You do it 3 times, and that's pretty much the encounter for the vault. So after the vault, you're going to face Riven, the final raid boss, and obviously I'm not going to explain it because I haven't done it just yet, but this is where my team is currently. Of course, we've got a checkpoint, and we're going to try again in a couple hours, so hopefully we can get it done. Once you beat Riven, there is a mini encounter after. It's basically a home stretch where you carry her heart out of the Dreaming City to cleanse it, and after you do that, you literally win the raid. In terms of my loot drops, I got firstly a scout rifle with opening shot and rampage, which is pretty decent. This came at 548. From the chest on the bridge, that was the same one people glitched into early before the raid, I got an auto rifle at 530 with tap the trigger and dragonfly. Then from Morgith, I got the helmet, which is pretty cool. I actually like this thing. This one came at 552. I think it looks amazing, but there's nothing fantastic about it in terms of perks. It's pretty regular. But yeah, that's a rundown of the raid, my thoughts, the encounters, my loot rewards. Overall, it is a fantastic raid. There's nothing else to be said. Riven, of course, is an amazing final boss. She is literally the biggest creature ever in Destiny, way bigger than Oryx. So a really cool final boss. But yeah, comment down below, what do you guys think of it? Also, a massive thanks to you guys for tuning into my stream. There's like 10,000 people at most points watching me actually do the raid. Hopefully I can get it done soon. Wish me and my team luck, but I'll let you guys know when we do beat it. Now, on top of that, with the raid being beaten, it unlocked a bunch of new stuff inside the Dreaming City, and the cycle of changes is going to begin now. So currently there's a new mission available with Petrus, a quest basically, and this is going to give you a powerful drop, so definitely worth doing. You've also got the Corrupted Strike with the Tekken as a boss, which is very, very cool. It's got a lot of amazing locations. Quick note, as you get towards the end of the strike, make sure you pop a Queen's Foil, because that is a challenge to complete the strike while ascended to get your bounty done. And then on top of that, there's also a new Gambit map, and there's some Tekkens around the map, just some general additions and kind of changes. So of course, as the weeks progress, there's going to be more stuff, more changes, and more corruption apparently. But like I said, this is just the beginning, and there's still a lot more stuff we've yet to do inside the city. Lots of stuff is going to unlock, so I guess I have to wait and see. And of course, I'll keep you guys up to date on this channel. But that's going to do it for today's video. As always, if you enjoyed it and want to support this channel, a like rating is much appreciated, helps out a ton. If you're new around here, then make sure you are subscribed and also have notifications turned on by hitting the bell next to it. That way you won't miss a video or stream. My Instagram and Twitter are linked down below in the description. If you want to follow me there, click on this image right now to watch another video from myself, and I'll see you guys in the next one.